You're welcome to Joy News Prime, still the most comprehensive 2 hours of television news here in Ghana. My name is Israelite. Coming up, government points to significant progress in the country's economy, citing an IMF report which shows Ghana has a per capita income which is higher than Côte d'Ivoire and Senegal. Progressive People's Party's flag bearer wades into Commander Sugar Factory controversy. We'll hear what he has to say. House of Chiefs President asks the media to blacklist politicians whose comments tend to incite the public.
And coming up in business, industrial entities are to invest in renewable energy supply for their operations soon.
And have you heard about the Ghanaian plus-sized bride to be who's gained worldwide acclaim? She's been speaking to me about her love affair that's got the world talking. There'll be sports, entertainment, and Joy News Interactive in this bulletin, which is also available across Europe on London-based ABN television. Stay tuned. The International Monetary Fund has expressed confidence in Ghana's economic growth, citing what it describes as significant progress in that area. According to the IMF's 2016 World Economic Outlook report, Ghana's gross domestic product per capita for the year 2015 rose to $1,340.40 from a figure of $1,266.10 in 2008. Now, this, the report said, represents an increase of 5.9% over the period. Sector by sector, the IMF report describes Ghana's overall performance as encouraging. Government, in a statement, says the performance by way of per capita income puts Ghana ahead of Côte d'Ivoire and Senegal. It however concedes in the statement, this notwithstanding, President Mahama's government takes the position that mere economic growth and its associated indicators are necessary but not sufficient measurements of human well-being. It continues, we believe human development is a more encompassing and comprehensive way to conceptualize development as it puts people first. And I'm going to go to some aspects of the statement. It talks about education. It says, generally, Ghana's education system ranks amongst the best on the African continent. The University of Ghana was recently ranked the 7th best university in Africa by the Times Higher Education. According to the UNDP, in 2015, Ghana's mean years in school, 7 years, is higher and better than that of Kenya, which is 6.3 years, Nigeria 5.9 years, Côte d'Ivoire, which is 4.3 years, and Senegal 2.5 years. Meanwhile, the head of the economics department of the University of Ghana, Professor Peter Korte, is cautioning government to be moderate in trumpeting successes chalked in the IMF's World Economic Outlook report. He argues that though the gains made by the country are good, it falls short of Africa's average per capita income, which should rather be Ghana's benchmark. Professor Korte emphasized that in spite of all the growth witnessed, the gap between the rich and poor remains wide.
The figures, I've not read the full report, but I must say, looking at the period concerned, 2008 and 2015, you pick two data points and you see the number of years in between and make statements. I think we should be very careful. Otherwise, we abuse statistics. Between 2008 and 2015, we have 8 years. That's basically an increment of $72. So on an annualized basis, we are adding $9 per year on average. I think it's good, yes, we are not retrogressing, that our GDP per capita is increasing. It's a good sign. But let's not make too much noise about this marginal improvement. Because I would have loved us to compare ourselves with the African average. The African average, as we speak in 2015, is about 1,600.
That's a per capita.
Yeah, that's the per capita.
1,600, okay.
1,600, as I checked from the World Bank website.
So we are roughly $300 short of that.
Short of the African average.
Yes.
So when we are comparing, and you find people comparing with, pick and choose countries, that does not help us. Let us rather compare ourselves with the average. If we are above average, then we can go out there and commend ourselves. I must say,
But just a minute before we go on this same point, just again to put it in context for people. Economists are putting this in the context of the fact that over the last 8 years coincides with the time that we found oil. Some say that alone should do a bit more to your GDP and should see a more significant per capita than we are referencing. You think that's a point to note also with placing that within that context?
Definitely. That is the point. We have found oil and additional sources of revenue. So we should be doing better than we're doing now. But Evans, let's also emphasize that although our per capita income has increased, inequality has worsened. If you look at the Ghana Living Standard Survey report, the recent one, inequality has worsened. So basically, the rich are becoming richer and the poor are becoming poorer. And that is why many people say they don't feel it in their pockets.
And it's interesting you say that, because the per capita income, you economists tell us, is what if you divide what we produce at the end of the year by the population. That's what every person in this country should have. But 1,300. But if you ask me if I can have $1,300 in my account, I probably would tell you I do not.
Yeah, perhaps, yes, even you might have that. But the ordinary Ghanaian doesn't have 1,300 per year.
Oh, no, I don't have it. I don't have 1,000 in my account.
Yes. But so it basically tells you there are just a few. I mean, if you look at the income quintiles, that is, if you divide the top, the bottom, and the rest, you will find that it's only a few who own these resources.
The details, as put out by the Ministry of Communications, is available. This is available on myjoyonline.com's website. The 2016 flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Dr. Park Kwesi-Indom, is the latest to wade into the Komenda Sugar Factory controversy. After some confusion about whether or not the factory is in operation, the Ministry of Trade and Industry stated yesterday the factory is expected to shut down later this month. Dr. Indom is more concerned about the availability of raw materials and their cost. He says government should have put measures in place to ensure the cheap raw materials were readily available before inaugurating the plant. Addressing a news conference in Accra, Dr. Indom added that government also needs to come clear on the management structure for the factory.
Things, yes, you must do. So you don't go and borrow almost 100% of the money you need to start a factory. You don't do that. You must have your own equity, your own money, a little bit to put there, so you know you are in there. You know you are in there. So we go and borrow some $36 million from the Indians. And then we, the Ghana government, will put in some $1.5 million to start and build a factory. And then we say we are going to borrow another $25 million to now build irrigation canals and help people grow sugarcane. You destroy rule number one for entrepreneurship, for business building. You don't go and borrow almost 100% of the money you need for any project. And then rule number two says that you must be certain of the arrangements for raw material before you start building the factory. And it's not just raw material at any costs. It's raw material that would allow you to be able to, in the future, pay back the investment that you've made. So you don't now go and put a factory there and even go and commission the factory and now say that, oh, I have 1 or 2 acres where I'm doing a nursery. So that when the nursery, it germinates and all of that, now I can give those things to sugarcane farmers. all over the place. You don't do that. And then number 3, there must be a defined management, people responsible for any factory, any project. So I keep asking, who is in charge of this factory? Who? Is it the president? Is it the Minister of Trade? Is it a Central Region Minister? Is it the NDC political party? Who is in charge? Because over these past few days, when any question is raised, some different person comes to answer. Central Regional Minister, Minister of Trade, some party people, here and there. But don't we have people there in Commander who are in charge of the factory? Who is the managing director? Who is the PRO there? Who? Who do we hold accountable? We can't go and hold John Mahama accountable. His time will come and he will go. When he goes, who will be there?
A lecturer at the University for Development Studies, Professor Juventus Ziem, is challenging the perception that crops such as banana, cocoa and butternut squash cannot be successfully cultivated in the northern belt of the country. Contrary to the widely held view, the medical science lecturer says he has, in the last 4 years, made some good money from his banana farm located close to the Black Volta at Kokoligu in the Nandom district of the Upper West region. Upper West region correspondent Rafiq Salam joined the Food and Agriculture Minister, Mohamed Muniru Muna, on the tour of the banana farm and now reports.
29-year-old Professor Juventus Ziem is a lecturer at the University for Development Studies School of Medical Science, but he loves farming.
God created the earth and gave it to man. Those people with power who have the money would dig deep to the core of the earth and decide to get fuel out of it or minerals. But those of us who do not have that power, we just play at the surface, and we can also make it.
He owns this 15-acre banana farm located close to the Black Volta at Kokolugu in the Nandom district. Since he started the cultivation of banana on this field, 3 other people have also joined him. Professor Ziem said it is on the wish list of many people to join them, but it is always difficult to get a startup capital.
The way we are doing is that we have to buy pumps. Thank God that when Roy was the head of the Northern Rural Group, he pushed that a lot. He gave us 3 pumps to start with. And then I joined I met the regional director, and he supplied us with some inputs. Some of the pipes came from his office. And that's how we're able to start up. But if you have to start afresh, you need diesel, a lot of diesel to do. So it's a big constraint. With a 15-acre farm, we're using 1 drum of diesel per 3 weeks.
He is not only excited about the money he's been getting from the sale of the banana, but able to prove that banana could be grown in the northern belt of the country. Every 2 weeks, he is able to pocket an amount of 8,000 Ghana cedis from the sale of the banana.
You see banana being sold here, as if it's in the southern part of Ghana. Yeah. So in Wa, we sent some of the bananas there. And our important source is that Burkinabe buyers from Ouagadougou are coming here to the farm. Correct. So all the youth, everybody, this is free gift. You don't need donation, you don't need anybody foreign aid to play around the gift that God has given us.
Food and Agriculture Minister Mohamed Muniru Limuna, as part of his 3-day official working visit to the region, took a tour of the farm and was impressed about what he saw.
One thing that impressed me most is that we have the belief that the moment you are educated, you don't do farming. And we've come to see a medicine professor who is in farming. So this goes to tell the youth that if you are educated doesn't mean you have nothing to do with farming. That's one point. People always believe that crops of this nature, like banana, can only be possible in the southern part of this country. But we are witnesses to this today, that we've seen banana growing very well in Upper West region, not even in Northern region. Upper West region, far away from Nandom. There's hope in agriculture.
Reporting for J News, Rafik Salam, Kokoligu.
Watching Joy News Prime, still to come in the bulletin. The first Ghanaian to represent Ghana at the finals of the Scripps Spelling Bee in the United States arrived in Ghana on Wednesday. And have you heard about the Ghanaian plus-size bride-to-be who's gained worldwide acclaim? She's been speaking to me about her love affair that's got the world talking. Stay tuned for that and more in this bulletin. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. The Power Ministry has assured unionized workers of the Electricity Company of Ghana that prudent measures will be taken to ensure their jobs are secured. After a 2-hour crunch meeting with leadership of the union to address some concerns raised over the new billing software, ECG concession plans, among several other issues, the acting Power Minister Tekpe says they'll continue to dialogue with the union to ensure all differences are properly addressed.
It's also about positioning. It's not just about current issues. That's a wider, context. The discussions have been quite, fruitful up to this point, and the parties agree that there's a need to engage, in the dialogue, continuing dialogue, so that we can discuss differences, across the table. Some of this is already ongoing between management, the board, and the unions. What we are doing today is to bring the policy perspective to bear, on the ongoing, engagement, in order that, the policy issues also can be discussed. It is about finding solutions, to the sector problems, and the government is definitely, this has come to the attention, government, and steps are being taken, to protect, ECG workers, at all levels. And so we want to take the opportunity to say that any molestations or things that would occur, such workers, such incidents, particularly since they happen also in communities where people are unknown, should be reported to the security agencies. The engagement, we will definitely continue. I assure you, actually the ministry has engaged, the board of the utility, the energy sector SOEs, and engaged the chief executives and their finance directors. So yes, I agree. The incidents brought this forward, but it's a process of engagement which would definitely, have come, to your doorsteps.
Now, Deputy Power Minister John Jinapor says they will also be dialoguing with the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission over the new billing software to ensure the concerns of the people who have been wrongfully billed will be addressed.
On the issue of concession, we've decided that we engage further alongside the Ministry of Employment, and so we shall continue to engage. Whilst that of the bills of MMDAs, we would support ECG to continue to deploy prepaid meters into most of the MMDAs in order to ensure that we capture as much revenue as we can. In fact, they raised the issue of the software directive from PURC, and we promised them that we shall engage PURC. PURC is an independent body, but we do cooperate. And so if they have concerns, together we shall sit to look at that. And already I can attest and assure you that we've made a lot of progress, even with the software. We've put some correctional measures with the few challenges that we have. But indeed, the workers themselves agree that there were some isolated incidents where people's bills went too high, and that has been corrected, and we shall continue to correct whatever challenge that comes up. For issue that we are dealing with, and that is of particular concern to us, is the issue of prepayment meters, where people buy credit, and because of the configuration, it is assumed that you owe, and it deducts your money. That is something we are working with. We have set ourselves the timeline of June. We expect that we'll continue the process We are not stopping the process, but we've given ourselves some timeline, and we are confident that by the end of June, we should largely deal with almost all these challenges. It turns out that you were wrongfully overbilled, and it meant that you paid in excess. It means we've received the money, so we have to give you your credit back. But let me also emphasize that it's not everybody who was wrongfully overbilled. And so let's get that right. We have to categorize and know that whether X or B had that challenge. And we did that before. In December, we did a similar one, so it's not a problem.
Now, General Secretary of the Public Utility Workers Union, Bondi Kwe, says though not all their concerns have been addressed, they are confident that subsequent meetings will put issues into perspective.
If we had requested officially that we want to talk to them over issues, I believe they would have given reasons why they can't meet us. We are busy. But once we had to cry out there, it has become loud and clear that things are not going on well when it comes to our performance of jobs out there. The one assurance that I want to give Ghanaians is that we want to serve and serve them better, giving the right opportunities and then the equal fair grounds to operate on. We have many, many challenges, and as Minister Riley said, we shall be engaging them regularly. Otherwise, we'll go out again and cry to the public to hear our voice that we are not being handled fairly, we are not being treated fairly. But once we've given some assurances, we shall be monitoring and then make sure that our people are safe out there. It's about security issues that made us to go out. It's about wrong comments made out there that we thought could have been addressed like what we have done today here before we make it public. Otherwise, that explains the reason why we thought that give us a chance to have a dialogue first, then just after that we'll have commentary. And we are grateful for attending to our
Chieftaincy conflicts associated with succession in 11 traditional areas in the country will soon be a thing of the past because processes to codify who succeeds in a traditional area have started in Parliament. Proponents of the legislative instrument are convinced this is the only way to end conflicts associated with chieftaincy extension. An ally to make it binding is receiving attention before the subsidiary legislation of Parliament. Chieftaincy Minister Henry Seidu Dana tells Joy News parliamentary correspondent the ally also deals with nomination, selection or election, installment and system of inheritance in the 11 stools and skins.
There's one ally governing every particular stool or skin. And it tells you the procedure of a stool in chief, the kingmakers, and those who are qualified, the families. And where you have 2 or 3 families, the order of rotation. So that when the stool is vacant, you don't have people fighting. If there are 3 families, A, B, C, if the chief dies, it goes to B. If he dies, it goes to C, then back to A. And this, once you have this kind of ally, it becomes a criminal offense to contest for chieftaincy when it's not your turn. Yeah. Most of the areas, they are not there. As I talked, the first LI 32, passed in 1929 during the colonial time, was about Akwapim. In those days, there was only codification about chieftaincy if there was some signs of trouble or trouble. Where there was no trouble, there was no codification. But what we are saying that we don't have to wait for the trouble. So we are now doing codification en masse across the country. And the experience is that when you have the ally there, it reduces the potential for conflict.
What about elevation? Does it deal with it in the airline?
No, this is not about elevation. It's about codification of lines of succession to stools.
President of the National House of Chiefs, Professor Na John Nabila, is optimistic persons who use monetary influence to have their way in chieftaincy installment will stay away when the ally matures in Parliament.
Because we don't have these written laws, it's all folklore, it's oral tradition. And with oral tradition, it can change. So there's no way anybody can change it. It will be taken to court. And once the court supports what is in the written law, there's no problem.
So these conflicts, is it your understanding that areas that this line of succession is not followed, probably the reason why we experience conflict in those areas?
Oh, definitely. Those areas which have clear lines of succession, there's no problem. But the minister just mentioned Kaliu, who was previously the vice president of the National House of Chiefs, when he went to the village, it hasn't been a problem in finding a successor because we had an LI passed by Parliament. So they know which are the gates, who are the people qualified, who are the kingmakers. So there's no question of going with your money to buy the chieftaincy from anybody. It's laid down by law, and that is an LI passed by Parliament, and that's why we are sitting here.
And I want to believe that the chieftain institution is fully backed this.
Oh, we have no alternative. That is, if we don't back the 1992 Constitution.
Still in Parliament, the Gender, Children and Social Protection Ministry says it will resist any attempt by private developers to take over the Osu Children's Homeland. It has emerged a private firm, CADS Contract Service, is planning to relocate the home following a memorandum of understanding between it and the Employment and Labour Relations Ministry dated November 2012. Deputy Gender Minister Dela Soa responded to the issue in Parliament.
The ministry received a letter dated 18 December 2014 from CADS Contract and Services Limited, drawing our attention to an agreement with the Ministry of Employment and Social Welfare dated 29 November 2012. They requested for a meeting to discuss a proposal for the relocation of the Osu Children's Home. The ministry responded per letter dated 7th January 2015 that until the ministry received CADS Contract and Services Limited request for a meeting, it did not know about the agreement, as it did not feature in any discussions on the separation of the Department of Social Welfare from the Ministry of Employment and Social Welfare, which supervised the Osu Children's Home. We opened further that this matter was not included in the transfer of responsibilities to the ministry when the Department of Social Welfare was being separated from the Ministry of Employment and Social Welfare. That it had not featured in any of our discussions, that the ministry owes no contractual obligation and does not intend to pursue the agreement. Mr. Speaker, we further informed CADS Contracts and Services Limited that we do not intend to embark on the project. The conclusion of the response to CADS Contracts and Services Limited was that the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection did not intend to embark on any relocation project simply because it did not see the project as one which will promote the best interest of children in the home with regard to their protection and overall development.
We're taking a break on Joy News Prime. When we come back, we'll bring you business news. The Accra Region Police Command has arrested 5 suspects in connection with car snatching in the capital. The suspects, aged between 20 and 26, are said to be members of a syndicate snatching cars in Accra.
The media on the activities of suspects, the Accra Regional Police Commander, ACP Timothy Bonga, said some of the car snatchers use master keys to access vehicles parked in private residences or in open parking spaces.
Between the 18th to 20th of May 2016, the police received several complaints of stolen Kia Mini and Bongo trucks. Through police intelligence, one of the Kia Bongo trucks with registration number GX 9159-13 was located at a fitting shop at Sakama, where it had been dismantled beyond recognition. Further police investigation led to the retrieval of another truck with registration number GX 2564-12.
He explained that the stolen vehicles are resold at cheap prices or dismantled, and the various parts sold separately.
Through interrogation, the police was able to gather that when these vehicles are parked at their owner's residence, this syndicate led by Kofi Ibrahim, who is currently at large, steal the vehicle with a master key. Immediately replace the registered number plate with a DV trade license plate and either sell it to a potential buyer or dismantle it with the help of a welder whose name has been given as Eric, also at large. The police will not hesitate in arresting and prosecuting persons who, without due diligence, purchase these vehicles for unlawful receiving and facilitating the crime.
The police say they will not hesitate to arrest and prosecute individuals who take delight in purchasing stolen vehicles without doing due diligence.
President of the National House of Chiefs, Professor John Nabila, is urging the media to blacklist politicians whose comments only incite Ghanaians ahead of the November general elections. He is optimistic if such a position is adopted by the media, it will influence the choice of words by politicians in the run-up to the elections. Speaking to Joy News, Professor Nabila charged politicians to place the interests of Ghana first in all their endeavors.
There's no need for us to have chaos in order to have a president. So we pray that there will be peace, tolerance, and of course, you people, the press, should be circumspect in what you publish. Don't call names and abuse or disabuse the minds of those who want to be calling names. Anybody who says any garbage, don't publish it. Ignore them. If they are utterances meant to fuel violence, you ignore it. If you don't give it any publicity, nobody will read about it.
Now, the first Ghanaian to represent the country at the Scripps Spelling Bee in the United States of America returned to Ghana, arrived in Ghana this morning. 14-year-old Efuansa beat the odds to become Ghana's first finalist at the competition. She has been sharing her experience with the Joy News team.
Dipnois? That is correct.
That's worthy of celebration. It's not too often you see that combination of two O's with two separate syllables, but she recognized
14-year-old Efuansa represented Ghana in the 2016 National Spelling Bee, which was held in the United States of America. She arrived in Ghana today. Efua went as far as to the finals and made Ghana proud. She said she had a wonderful experience and added that her love for reading prepared her for the Scripps Spelling Bee.
It's been terrific. The whole thing was just simply terrific and surreal. The whole competition, being a part of the competition, was simply amazing.
She advises young people to participate in spelling bees and said it's not all about winning, but the experience also counts.
I would tell any youngster, any prospective speller to just go for it, because it's not always about winning. The experience counts. So with the spelling bee, you get to discover and meet new people and cultures and make new friends and learn at the same time. So it's a really fun experience.
The National Spelling Bee coach, Emmanuel Afo, said he was very proud of Efua and believes that children in Ghana are as capable as children all over the world and should therefore be supported.
She's someone who is self-taught. She reads widely and she has an expansive vocabulary that makes training easier. And I was very happy when she mentioned that you just have to be widely read to make it. Children in Ghana are as capable as children everywhere in the world, and that given the right support, we will get there.
Efua's mother advised other parents to support their children and encourage them to read.
To other parents, I'll tell them that they shouldn't give up on their children when they are not doing well. Those who are doing well too, they should encourage them so that they help them in education, buying of books. In fact, I sell books. I have a stationery shop too, and through that, buy books for the children. You are not wasting your money at all. At the end of the day, it helps them and it will bring glory to you too. No government support. I was even saying that, well, if I had the support from Indomie, yeah, they sponsored, but to a certain level, they did well. I think so, 100%, especially to come to just play a part in this spelling bee Ghana.
Efua Ansah wants young people to read wide and believes that illiteracy and gender discrimination should end to create equal opportunities for all.
Once again, we say congratulations to Efua Ansah and welcome home. Up next, we bring you international. Right, time now for a quick run through our top stories. Government has pointed to significant progress in the country's economy, citing an IMF report which shows that Ghana has a per capita income which is higher than Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal. The Progressive People's Party flag bearer has waded into the Commander Sugar Factory controversy, and he says he wants government to speak or state the structure of the management of the factory. The House of Chiefs President has asked the media to blacklist politicians whose comments tend to incite the public. Now, until her pre-wedding photos went viral on social media, Ms. Naki Tete was just another Ghanaian nurse who was getting hitched. Her story has since taken a dramatic turn and earned her spot in the international media. The Mail Online reports she's gained some 10,000 followers on Instagram. Well, I went checking for myself in the last hour, and she actually has 35,000 followers. The story that's been told so far is that she rebuffed comments which sought to make her feel terrible about her plus size after her photos went viral. She has been speaking to me about how she came to meet his man, an engineer called Prince Kojo Amwa, and what got him lifting her in that pre-wedding photo.
It all started about a week ago when my boyfriend, my fiancé posted our pre-wedding shoots on Facebook with some kind of story or words. So within 5 minutes, we had like 500 likes.
Wow.
And he was like, baby, go and check the pictures. I was like, we have almost 500 likes. And I'm like, wow, what's wrong? Because he's been posting pictures of us together. Anytime we hang out, we take pictures, and he posts on his Facebook wall, write things about. But this particular picture, I know within 5 minutes, it just had likes. And so now the likes are still coming.
And they're still going to come. So the story is about, the reason why Naki has become so popular is because she has a lovely, handsome boyfriend, and who decided to get engaged to a plus-sized lady. And typically, you'd want to think that a handsome guy like that would want to go in for, average-sized lady. But this young man decided, no, this is the woman I love, and that's the woman I'm going to marry. How long have you guys been going out?
I'm a nurse, and he came to my hospital to visit a sick relative, and he had to ask me for help with a prescription. He didn't understand the drug written. He didn't know what type of drug, and he wanted to know where to buy it. So I helped him, and when he came back, he was so grateful with the way I helped him, and he wanted us to be friends, and we continued from there. And here we are now.
What's his name?
He's Prince Kojo Amwa.
And what does he do?
He's an engineer.
So you became friends, and when did he propose? That was a big question.
Actually, it's not been easy because I've been worrying him because I've not been okay with him, because whenever I feel okay, I talk to him. Whenever I'm not okay, I don't talk to him. But he always comes back, calls me. Whenever I hurt him, he comes back to call me. And I was like, so December, I sat down to think that I've done a lot to this guy, but he's always there for me. So why don't I sit down and study him for some time, and I decided to choose him. So in January he proposed and I accepted.
Did you think that he was, really serious about you?
Yeah, he was really serious about me. He was so much in love with me. He is so much in love with me.
Did you have any second thoughts when he proposed to you? What was your immediate response?
I was like, he should give me some time to think about it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, well, he gave you how much time?
He gave me more time. He was always asking me, but I would tell him he should give me more time. But he had the patience. And just one day, just one night, I called him that, okay, I'm ready now. Then he said, okay, so we should start from there. And I brought him home and we started from there.
How have both families reacted to this relationship?
Oh, his family accepted me and my family. They are all happy about our relationship.
And when is the wedding date?
It's 25th June.
25th June. Am I invited?
Yes, you are.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, so now after these pictures were posted online, posted on social media, how did the international press get to know? How did you end up being in the international media?
Okay, I think the picture went viral because Prince tried to raise me, and they saw it to be impossible.
Can we get to see that photo where Prince was trying to raise Naki? And then I'm going to ask, did he actually try to raise you?
He did. He did? Yeah, he did.
Is he that? Is he that strong?
He is very strong.
He raises you like that all the time?
No, he's never done that, but he tells me on our wedding day he's going to raise me and he wants to do it. I said, hey, don't try because I don't want to fall down. I don't want to fall down and break my spine. He said, okay. So that very day when we went, we were taking the shots, then he tried to hold my legs and raise me. I said, stop it. And the photographer was like, let him do it. I want to take that shot.
Yeah.
And he did the first one and the camera went off. And the photographer said he should do it again. And it was the third time that he had a shot. So he raised me 3 times.
I can imagine he must have been really beat after doing that.
No, he was okay. I was also surprised though. The photographer was standing and looking at him.
And you're saying he hasn't practiced lifting you in any way?
No.
Nowhere, ever, never?
No, he hasn't.
Oh wow. How you taking all this attention?
It's not been easy though because now I have to reply messages, I have to check comments, and I have to work as well, at school as well. So it's not been easy. And when I go out, people say, this is the girl in the pictures, and I'm like, I'm not the one. So I just wave them and just go. But it's not been easy because I have to spend more time with my phone, and even people try getting rude because I don't reply their messages. But I think I now understand the pressure that celebrities and even our presidents go through.
Oh yeah?
It's too much.
All right, let's talk about has your weight ever been an issue for you?
No, because since childhood I've been this way. And it was because of that I even tried to go into the health profession to know more and to do more about it. So I think
the question I'm asking is, have people taunted you? Have people ridiculed you?
Sometimes when you go to the market or you go somewhere, someone just shouts "Obolo," and I said "Obolo." Then I'll just ignore them and do my thing and go wherever I want to go or do whatever I want to do. I just ignore them. I just don't pay attention to them.
Does it worry you?
No, it doesn't worry me because I know that this is how I've been and I'm working at it also.
Working at it? You want to lose weight?
Just maybe a little.
What's your weight now?
Hey!
Because then
someone told me if I'm asked what's my weight, and she said I'm 160.
Indeed, you're 160. But you say you're working on it.
Yeah.
I think you want to lose some weight. How much weight are you hoping to lose?
Okay, maybe a little.
A little?
Yeah. It's not easy though. It's not easy, but I'm still working. I'm doing a little to work on because I'm a health personnel. Yeah, yeah. I just want to.
So you'd want to exercise, but probably
yeah, I
not
do
really
exercise. I'm a member of a gym. I do go to the gym. That's my hood.
Okay.
Yeah, and I see the dietitian always. We always plan menus and what to eat at the right time. I take a lot of water.
All right. Now, during the interview, we called Ms. Naki's man, Kojo Amoah, and asked him, what is it he loves most about his woman? This is what he said.
Love almost everything about her. Yeah, but her size is what, you know, I don't know the right word to use, but the size is what, you know, I'm so much into. I'm just so crazy about her size.
Okay, hold on. So it's about the size that actually turns you on.
Yeah, the love is deep, and the size makes it worse. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Okay, Prince, I'd like you to just leave us with one final confession. Something that you're going to say that's going to make Naki just go, and probably make her cry.
All I wanted to say is, deep down my heart, I've always loved her right from day one. And God in heaven knows how much I love her. And all I'll say is, I pray that the good Lord will keep this love stronger till there's up, till He calls me to His arms. Yeah, in heaven. Yeah, I'll always love her. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Prince. Prince, what would you do if I told you that I was going to elope with Naki right now?
Come again?
What would you do if I told you I'm going to elope with Naki right now?
What?
I was just kidding. Indeed, I was just kidding. So, yeah, here on Joy News Prime, we make time to do to play love romance, doctor romance, here on Joy News Prime. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring the entertainment.
Entertainment news is brought.
Time for entertainment, and Ms. G is here.
Hello, Israel. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well.
You want to elope with Naki?
I was just.
You haven't said that to me.
Yeah, but I was just kidding, as I indicated.
Keep with me as well, eh?
Okay. Can I take you away someplace?
Yeah.
This weekend?
You're just kidding, I know. Anyway, okay, so I'm sure it's been a while you heard from Tiffany, you know, after the leaked nude pictures, videos. We have heard just not much from Tiffany. She's been away, she's been doing songs, but she hardly will speak to anyone. We have been lucky. We've spoken to her about the incident.
Okay.
And you know, before the incident, she signed a deal. Yes, she did sign a deal that didn't go well after the incident. Now, she talked also about her relationship.
Essentially, so she lost the deal because of the incident?
Well, she explains.
Okay.
Well, she explains. And then she talks about her relationship with Easy as well.
When it happened the first time, it kind of really hit me in a certain way that it made me not want to do music anymore. And then when I took like a month off, I realized that it's the thing that actually makes me happy. That's the only thing that makes me happy. So I was like, instead of looking at it in a negative way, let me try and...
Talking, if you disrespect me, I'll disrespect you.
You better say hi to me anytime you see me. You know, but... You know, it's good to see Tiffany back. You know. She's wearing tattoos all over. She says she calls it a sleeve. And when she's done making the whole sleeve, she'll tell us the story behind the sleeve. So you're going to see tattoos.
So she's not done with it?
No, she's not. She's actually making a sleeve of tattoos, if there's anything like that. So once she's done, she'll tell us the story behind, you know, that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I guess when you hit hard, you come back hard. Anyway, Oscar Provincial is in the news again. This time around, you know that he's been indicted in some issues having to do with the Ghana Actors Guild. He used to be a welfare executive of the Actors Guild from 2000 to 2006. And then he went off the acting scenes. Now, he works, you know, he's a communication expert. But now he's back fighting for the cause of the Actors Guild. You know that the younger actors have also said that they want that mantle. They want to lead the actors.
So these ones should step aside. The old folks should step aside.
He had some message for them. And then he talks about how Abraham Attah getting to the Oscars has actually enlightened them.
I am elated and overjoyed that those who have been on the periphery, until I heard Van and John and a group of actors talking about change, talking about reform, talking about an organization that should meet their aspirations. And I said to myself, wow, finally. People like Kojo Datsun, Fred Amogi, myself, Sammy Fission, and a whole host of actors, our work has not been in vain. Abraham Attah, for me, is behind all of this. Because out of the sweat and toil that actors have done over 30 years, a young, talented boy was picked up from the village from nowhere and has reached Hollywood heights. You think I don't want to go to Hollywood? You don't think I wanted to be where Abraham Attah is? You think that Kojo Datsun didn't want to be where Abraham is? You know Don DeMello and co, they want to be there? Ramsey Noah, upon all his films, has he got there? It is every actor's dream. That is the pinnacle of an actor's life. There are tears in my eyes. I'll not shed tears for anybody but the industry that I love and I believe in. And nobody can take that away from me. I will fight today, tomorrow, and in my grave for this industry.
How soon will we stop talking about all these issues in the Actors Guild?
We are hoping that the minister does call the parties together in the interest of peace. She calls all of us together, that we do find a peaceful resolution to it, that everybody's issues are addressed one way or the other, and we can all say we've reached a compromise, shake hands, and move forward. Other than that, there's only one resort, it's to the court, for the court to determine.
Look, come on. These little puzzles of yours, they're really getting under my skin.
Eddie.
But I couldn't help it, notice the acting part of him show up when he was doing that interview, when he was telling Abraham Attah.
Like, he was reciting some, poem to me.
As if he had a script that he was...
True. But choices.
Okay. I think I know where you're heading to.
Okay, tell me.
So Lil Wayne has his own, cover of choice.
Yes, Kojo and Cancer Lil Wayne, the Kuma Hood actor.
He won't be left out.
No, not at all.
No. Yep. No.
Rizzy.
Yep.
Come on.
No. Yep.
Music. Sinikana make him.
No.
Rizzy me a bruta.
Yep.
Yes, me a fanboy.
No.
Now you didn't show trim. Say man no pemepa.
No.
I am see Kantia. I didn't quite fight Chana.
No.
Gonna for name some can. She moving a premiana.
No.
I can't move in and swear. And theater.
No.
The tree the end and swear. Brofie Cassana.
No.
The king in swear. Come out for more quiet.
No.
Some qua muddy. Now more bonds are there.
No.
Some me can a prayer. If you show board there.
No.
And I send a no ya. We are sick, yeah.
No.
Over there no so. Otale more fun now.
No.
Nane in swear. Money just soon.
No.
I didn't want to. To be any the choices. Louisy walk and I didn't walk and I didn't. Be any the choices. Louisy walk and I didn't walk and I didn't. To be any the choices. Louisy walk and I didn't walk and I didn't. Be any the choices. Louisy walk and I didn't walk and I didn't. Someone must say. Shamidi Makanwi. Opa Papa High Court. A big importance. Bugum Bankuya Bruni. Ade Wasrana. When you're home, me. Intimu Yeshua. I tell one day.
No.
Now what days on a pump? Hey, we are sure.
No.
Send away dear Drew. Inti a famano.
No.
And Untinia Booni. Why Miss Kenwat ya?
No.
Hey, any. Dear Jalan Randia.
No.
Achifalago.
Yeah.
Shatanek is water.
No.
Okay, so this part, there's a part where it says Shatane.
It says
Chris Waddle.
Diejano a yellow wind, yeah. Nope. Then there's this guy called Archipelago. He has that word. He says, yep. Shatane Chris Waddle. Nope. And no more queen. Yep. So the song is actually not, the jargon is not for both of you. And no more queen. You know, that kind of thing. You know, where, so in this song, he talks about Efia Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Talks about Shatawale.
Buko Banku. Ayite Powers.
You know, a lot of people. And I'm hoping to hear the commentary. People are already saying that his is now the best so far. You know, and I can tell you that this song is going to trend for a long while.
Well, it is going to trend.
I like the way he says, Brofune Kasa. It says, nope. And it says, Tree movie ni ye premiere na, nope. And so ye talk. It says, yep, Brofune swear, nope.
Oh no.
You know, a lot of things having to do with the creative arts industry. But quickly before we go back to the song, now I'm sure that by now you've heard that your own mentor, Bobby Brown.
Oh, Bobby Brown is not mine.
Oh, okay. So how come you have the Bobby?
Oh,
Israel Bobby lie.
Miss G, move on.
Oh,
I don't know why you go and dig up all these stories.
I thought you had something to do with, you know,
Bobby Brown. Oh, no.
I thought we could trace, you know. Anyway, this time around, he talks about the fact that though he's been accused over the years of introducing Whitney Houston to drugs, he met her doing drugs the night or the eve of their wedding.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's quite a revelation.
Exactly, and you could see that this is a remorseful man. He came across as, I wish I could have done something else, you know, to have saved.
Even though it's too late now because Whitney's gone.
And Bobby Christina is also gone as well. So you've lost your wife, your ex-wife, and then your only daughter with her anyway. All right, so we can still do our choices here in Ghana because Tree moving the premiere, so you're top. Yep.
Let's hear the rest of it.
So behind the choices, Louisi walk and I do. Hey, behind the choices, Louisi walk and I do. So behind the choices, Louisi walk and I do. So behind the choices, Louisi walk and I do.
Something must say. Shamidi Makanwi. Papa High Court. A big point in something must say. Shamidi Makanwi. Papa High Court. Point what were the idea to? No. And I never bought Iodine. Labe Nimitimitria. No. Ghana Quenechiana. Anti-Froking ya walk. No. Or 3 Kumasin Triana. Hey, Nagu.
Entertainment news was brought to you by
Airtel, the smartphone network.
All right, so I mean, I'm still, you know, having this Lil Wayne track choices, his cover of choices, just going through.
I can just go on with it. Shall we?
Go ahead.
All right. So is Bukum Banku okay?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Nope.
And that's where we begin today.
Yeah. So okay. So Bukum Banku. Okay. Lil Wayne has been talking about Bukum Banku and asking, Bukum Banku, you brony.
Yeah.
Is he a white man?
Yep. So one boxing analyst, Mohammed Amin Lamte, says that Bukum Banku needs to see a doctor who takes care of the head.
Because he thinks that he's not well?
He thinks that
something's gone wrong somewhere.
Yeah, like...
I mean, you're inclined to believe that because...
Nope.
All right, you take it away.
Right, so... Is Bukum Banku okay? I don't know. But Mohammed Amin Lamte, who is a former GBA PRO, former public relations officer of the Ghana Boxing Authority, feels that it's time for the boxer to get a checkup.
I don't think that the Federation has anything to do with this. This is a personal decision that Bukum Banku has taken, and I've seen a lot of pictures on Facebook. I just read one this morning that he came out to apologize for certain things that he did. For me, and I want to repeatedly say that I think Bukum Banku should be checked mentally. That is what I believe. And I'm not saying that Bukum Banku is sick. I'm not saying that Bukum Banku is mad. I'm not saying that Bukum Banku is suffering from any mental ailment, but I think that he needs to be checked mentally. Maybe we need a psychiatric that would help us to be able to check him medically and see maybe something is going wrong, because his current attitude doesn't sit well with me. I sit down, think through the Bukum Banku that I know. I'm very, very close to Brahma Kamoku, very, very close. I am more or less like a counselor to him. Anything that goes wrong, Bukum Banku can call me and ask me what to do. But in recent time, it's been a long time that I spoke to him because of his current attitude. So apart from all that people say, I think what we can do to help the gentleman is that we need to call his attention for a medical attention, for a medical checkup, to check whether indeed Bukum Banku is in his right frame of mind, because what he's doing for me, I think, is out of ordinary.
The jury is out there. However, well, you can check out all the information about Bukum Banku on myjoyonline.com or on our YouTube page, MyJoy Online Tube. Staying with boxing, and as you may recall, in the last 10 days or so, the Association of International Boxing Federations, called IBA, ruled that from this year, Olympic athletes will have to include professionals. In the history of boxing, only amateur boxers have been allowed to take part in the Olympic Games. But from Brazil 2014, this will change, meaning that more professionals will be open to take part in the sport. But in reaction to this, Gideon Quartey, who is the Ghana Amateur Boxing Authority boss, has given his own take.
Of understanding what really IBA means. Some of us, we were there and we heard what is going on. I mean, I don't see anything wrong at the Olympic Games where professional boxers will be meeting amateur boxers. I mean, they have to take that illusion from them, because I don't think IBA or IOC, the International Olympic Committee, will do anything in the name of, I mean, getting bloody fight or here and there. The best fight for amateur boxers is the 4-round system, the 3-round system. And it's the same, I mean, boxers, when they reach the Olympic Games, they decide to go to professional, and you see them beating the professional boxers at the amateur level. It's something the world have decided. The International Olympic Committee has decided. They control boxing at the amateur level. They have decided on something. IBA control boxing. IBA control boxing is the manufacturing room for boxers, for other world bodies. They've started the WBC, the World Series of Boxing, and they have decided. They've started also with the IBA Professional Boxing, that's the APB, for the past 4 years now, because they know what is coming. They tried their boxers and tested them, and they know they are good. They are capable of standing the professional boxers who will be joining them. It's something we have to look at it and embrace it. When we don't do that, and we say, oh, we are not going, you always lag behind. If the whole mecca of boxing, the US, their presidents have adopted it, voted for it. Other countries that they are good in boxing have adopted it and voted for it, that is good. They are going to start. Why are we criticizing? Let's sit down as homework and do it and follow it.
Interesting thoughts on that decision from the international bodies there. Yesterday, by this time, Sule Muntari had officially apologized to the nation. The Ghana Football Association told us that they had received a letter from the player groveling for what had happened in Brazil. But in reaction, there are some legal hurdles he has to climb if he is to play for the Black Stars again. Lawyer Egbert Fable spoke to us and says that, if you recall, the Jamepe Commission made some recommendations, and because the Jamepe Commission's recommendations are equal to a High Court statute, Muntari would have to go to the Court of Appeal to overturn it before he can wear the Ghanaian shirt again.
Mr. Muntari should see his lawyers, and I think that the GFA should also write a response to Mr. Muntari advising him to go through the legal procedure as laid down in Article 280 of the 1992 Constitution in relation to his right of appeal to have the adverse finding overturned. Otherwise, I'm afraid it is not a done deal at all for him. Mr. Muntari must necessarily bring an application as we speak or any moment from now before the High Court or the Court of Appeal before the legal vacation commences on the last day of July 2016 to resume in the first week of October also 2016. So if he's keen, then that's the step he and his lawyers must take to pave the way for him to be re-invited into the national team.
And you'll be hard-pressed to find any Ghanaian player, living or dead, who has divided opinion like Sulley Muntari has done in his career, all the way from the shenanigans at Athens 2004 to the latest one. And so today we had a poll on Twitter to gauge what the public opinion said. Now the poll, the vote said that, would you want to see Muntari back in the Black Stars? Let's see what the result was. So I'll just vote and say yes, he's needed, and vote and see. Now, as you can see, if we can put this on the screen, 27% of the people say that Muntari is needed. 49% say that he shouldn't be brought back because the team has moved on. And 24% say that we should allow Avram Grant to decide what happens to Sulley Muntari's future. Right. Away from all the things about Sulley, Ali Muntari and Maria Sharapova is in the news. Last 4 hours, we were told that she has been banned for 2 years from tennis for her failed drug test. You remember she took meldonium and she said she's been taking it for the past 10 years, and the gavel hit